What it do, YouTube? MJF for life here, back again, bringing you another video. This time we're going to do an Archetype discussion on a new Archetype that's coming out. I don't know when it's coming out. Probably not for a while though, but it's the Artifact Archetype. And before I get into all that, let me first say, one, if you can't tell, I'm finally over my swine flu. And two, I recently hit 100 subscribers. I think I have like 101, 102, something like that. And I was really surprised, having 100 subscribers. I mean, I know some channels, have 10,000, 100K, but 100 is a lot for me. So thank you to all the people who watch my videos and enjoy my videos. They're not as, high quality as maybe some other YouTubers out there, but I'd like to think that I have some, some okay content, some nice things, some ideas to say, and things of that nature. And at least, if 100 people like to watch it, that's more than I ever expected. But thank you guys for subscribing and watching and all that good stuff. So let me just get into the Archetype discussion. I've been playtesting this on Devpro for a couple of days, and I really like this Archetype. So if you don't know, there are a series of level 5 light fairy type monsters who have, effects where you can set them in the spell and trap card zone, and when they're destroyed during your opponent's turn, they get special summoned, and some of them have effects, some of them don't. What's really good about these is that they can be normal summoned, or they can be normal set, as well as they can be special summoned, in addition to being able to be set in the spell and trap card zone. And these cards have similar effects to an older card called Silver Sentinel, but unlike Silver Sentinel, that has to be destroyed by your opponent's card, the artifacts don't have to be destroyed by your opponent's card. You can destroy your own artifacts and get their effects that way, which makes them a much more versatile than Silver Sentinel is. So there are, well, how many is it? 6 artifact monsters currently known, and then 1 artifact XYZ. So we'll get into this first one. I'm gonna butcher all these names, but this is Artifact Labris, and basically this card has like the what is it? What's that? Bujin, not Yamato, but the one that special summons from the hand. It's similar to that effect. Mikazuchi, yeah, it's similar to a Mikazuchi effect where all of them say you can set this card from your hand to the spell or trap card zone, and when the set card in your spell and trap card zone is destroyed and sent to the graveyard during your opponent's turn, special summon this card. So all of them have that effect. But this one also has the Mikazuchi effect. When an artifact monster is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. So this card has another summon condition where, if one of your artifacts gets destroyed by a space typhoon, you can special summon that artifact as well as special summon this card from your hand. So this one has a really good effect in that sense, and you can use this to your advantage with the XYZ monster, and I'll get into that later. And this one is the Morlock Artifact Blue Sword. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. But again, like the other one, like all of them say, you can set it, and when it's destroyed during your opponent's turn, you can special summon this card. Now, when this card is special summoned, you can pop a face-up card. Now, I really wish this was you can destroy 1 card on the field, but popping face-ups is good. It really helps, get rid of certain monsters like Constellar. What is it though? The one that prevents itself from being destroyed by spell or traps. I can't think of its name right now. It's not what is it called? You know what? We're on here. Why not we just look it up? I'm so terrible with names when they're off the top of my head, if you haven't noticed. Constellar, where are you? Not Ptolemy. Omega. Constellar Omega. So stuff like Constellar Omega, or even Pleiades, that's tough. You can just pop it and just get rid of it. And that's really good. This card here, its effect is you can, when it's special summon, you can target 1 artifact monster in your graveyard and put it into your spell and trap card zone. Now, I haven't really been using this card. I don't really think it's that good. A card like Call the Haunted is much better because you can special summon them from your graveyard during your opponent's turn and get their effects that way. So like you can get this back from your graveyard and then pop another face-up card. So I think that that's a much better way of getting them back into play than this card. This card is really good. Card, do you see it's that the thing that you see in the medical fields, use it all the time. It's a Greek symbol. But anyway, this card is it's special summon, and while this card is face up on the field, you can draw a card every time you special summon an artifact card. And this card is really, really good. This is the card that when I've been playing with the deck, I've actually been keeping this on the field instead of XYZing with it, because now every time I go for an artifact, I'm going to get a +1. And this card can get really crazy because the great thing about the artifacts also is all of their effects are mandatory. So with their special cards, you can make stuff miss timing, whereas these cards can't miss timing. And this card is really good because you can special summon 2, 3, 4 artifacts in a row and just draw draw 4 cards. I mean, and it gets insane. If you play it correctly, you can draw 3, 4 cards easy. This next card is another card that's really good. Red Sword. Not even going to bother pronouncing it, as I said. And this card, when this card is special summoned, you can target up to 2. You can destroy up to 2 spell cards or set cards you control. Again, I wish this effect was just set cards in general, so you can extend to your opponent's field as well. But you know, it works with your cards because normally what I usually have been doing is set like this, and this. And then on my opponent's turn, as soon as they summon something, you know, Space Typhoon my own cards, Space Typhoon this, and then destroy in order this card and then this card. The reason why I destroy this first is that so this card will be Chain Link 1, this card will be Chain Link 2, so then obviously changes all backwards, so then this card will be special summoned first, the orange one, and then Blue Sword will be special summoned, so that way you get Blue Sword's effect as well as Orange Sword's effect, or Orange Medical Thingy's effect to draw, and you'll have 3 level 5 monsters on your field, and then if they survive the turn, then you can overlay with the 2, this one and this one, go for the signature XYZ or go for a Pleiades or something like that, and you can keep this card on the field to draw whenever you special summon more artifacts. It's a really good play, and it actually is pretty consistent. The last card, this artifact Aegis, or Aegis, however you pronounce it, and this one prevents your monsters from being artifact monsters from being targeted or destroyed by card effects during the turn that it's special summoned. So, and that's really good. So now the main weakness I see of these cards is that they only get their effects when they're special summoned during your opponent's turn. And that can be a key hindrance because, you know, something like if you go set 3 and they end phase space you on your turn, that really hurts you because you don't get that effect because they have to be destroyed during your opponent's turn. So that's something that is a really major weakness that you're going to have to play around a lot, because once people know what you're playing, they're just going to they're going to destroy stuff during your turn instead of their own turn, like they normally would. So they'll just set a Space Typhoon and activate it as soon as your turn begins instead of, you know, activating it right away. And that's something that you're going to have to be wary of, because that can be a major problem, you know, in games 2 and 3. Game 1, if they don't know you're playing, it's not going to be a problem. But games 2 and 3, that's going to be a problem. Now let's get into this signature spell card they have, which is a signature MST, and it's basically just like MST. You can target 1 spell trap card on the field, destroy that target, and if you do, set 1 artifact monster directly from your deck to the spell and trap card zone. Excuse me. Still have a lingering cough. And the secondary effect is also amazing. If this card is destroyed by your opponent's card, your opponent skips their next battle phase. So this is a card that if you set it and they end phase space it, they won't be able to attack you next turn. So that's another thing. This is a card that keeps your opponent honest. Because if I set it, you don't know what I'm setting, and you might hit the wrong card, and you won't be able to attack me. So this card, as well as their trap card as well, this card keeps them. Those 2 cards keep them honest when you're setting cards, because you're gonna be able to get some pluses off your opponent if they, you know, just randomly space your cards. And this card is really good. Not only does it destroy potentially their back row, but it also can destroy your own back row and allow you to set up and play another card. This combo, this card really makes, you know, this card plus these 2 combo work out, because let's say if you have this and this, but you don't have this, or, you know, vice versa, you can, you know, pop one of your cards, set whichever one you're missing, and then go for that combo again. So this card really helps you set up your back row, as well as potentially destroy your opponent's cards or your own cards. And another card that's really, really good, this card just special summons 1 straight from the deck, special summon 1 artifact monster from your deck. You can only activate these once per turn, and you cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect, which doesn't matter because you should be activating it on your opponent's turn. Or I guess you could activate it on your own turn. You're probably only going to be doing that if you're getting desperate. And then if this card is destroyed by your opponent's card, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy that card. Now, an interesting combo that works with this card is if they space this card, you know, they blind space, they hit this card, you can chain this card, get the effect of special summon a monster, and then get the effect that pops a card on their field, because they still technically destroy your card even though they didn't negate its effect. So that's something that works really well. These 2 cards are really, really good chainables. because if your opponent spaces them by mistake, you're going to be able to get pluses off of that, as well as force them to either lose a card from their field or not be able to attack. So that's good. So these are the main cards, and we'll get into their XYZ. This card is so good. And this is Artifact Durandal. And his effect is you can activate one of these effects during either player's turn. The first effect is probably the effect that you'll be activating most, and that is when a monster effect activates or a normal spell or trap card is activated, you can detach one XYZ material and change that effect to destroy one spell or trap card your opponent controls. And this card is really good because it stops your opponent from doing what they want to do. For example, this thing stops Dark Hole, Bottomless, Dimensional Prison, Torrential, monster effects like, Big Eye. Well, I mean, they could just attack you. They probably wouldn't be activating Big Eye. This stops like a Drago Sack. Again, they would probably just straight up attack you. Stuff like, what are some popular monsters? Masked Chameleon. This card can stop effects like, any monster effect that's, special summons to other monsters, like against Constellars, any Constellar effect like Kos, Algidi, this can stop a Pleiades, although again Pleiades will probably just attack you because it has 25. But this card can stun your opponent. Not only does it prevent them from doing what they want to do, which, for example, if they want to Bottomless you can stop them, or if they want to Mirror Force you can stop them, but it also forces them to destroy one of your back row, and then you can get pluses off of that, especially during their turn. Now you have the secondary effect is you can detach one material from this card, and it's basically like a built-in reload. Now this effect can be good if they have something like Honest, or if they've added, like for example, like Harpies, when they add a bunch of cards during the end phase, you can force them to reshuffle their hand into their deck and draw, new cards, and hopefully they don't get anything that they can use. So that it does have its utilities, but it's a double-edged sword in the sense that just as much as they can get a bad hand, they can draw a godly hand. They can draw a hand that was significantly better than what they already had. Just like and if you have cards like in your hand like Honest or Swift Scarecrow that you kind of want to keep, but at the same time your opponent has just the nuts and you want to force them to redraw, you could draw some stuff that you don't actually necessarily want. So that's definitely an effect that's good to use if you can, when it's of no consequence to you. And then say if you've set everything, you don't have anything in your hand, and you can force them to shuffle their cards into their deck and draw something and redraw in hopes that they don't draw anything good. That could be a good use for it. But overall, I haven't found myself using this effect much. The first effect that you use almost all the time, it has a stunning effect, which is really good because your opponent has to be wary of what they activate. And so that's basically the artifact cards. So some cards that I felt like work well with the archetype. Space Typhoon, probably a no-brainer. You can target one spell or trap card on the field, so obviously your opponent's, or you can target your own cards and get pluses off of that. So Space Typhoon, a no-brainer. Run it at 3. I run triple Space Typhoon and triple of this, so it works out really well. Solar Windjammer is a level 5 that you can just throw out there. It really only works, in combination with, Solar Windjammer, Star Drawing, and Instant Fusion. These 3 cards kind of go together. I probably should put them together like that. There you go. Solar Windjammer, Star Drawing, and Instant Fusion. Because another great thing about Durandal is he's a generic. So he's 2 level 5s. Doesn't matter. He's a generic level rank 5, and that makes him that much better because you can make him with Solar Windjammer plus Star Drawing, Instant Fusion into something, and bam, you've got a Durandal. First turn easy, and then you can set a bunch of stuff, tell your opponent to go, and then when they activate an effect, you force them to destroy your own back row and then get pluses off of that. So I haven't made a Durandal Turbo version of this deck, but I definitely think that it can work out. Another card you might want to look at into, Silver Sentinel has a similar effect, although the problem is that you can't, if you destroy it yourself, you won't get the effects, but Silver Sentinel plus Durandal is a really good combination. Something you may want to look into. Not really necessary. I haven't found an ever or needed it. Christia, I've been running Christia, and during late game, and you can set up a big field and then drop a Christia, because again, these are all fairies. It is going to be really, really helpful to you to just shut down your opponent. Honest, you're running lights, so why not Honest? Shining Angel, really good because again, when your artifacts are special summoned during your opponent's turn, they get effects. So if they attack into your Shining Angel, you can Shining Angel into this, and even better, you can Shining Angel into this because it's only 1400 attack. So you can Shining Angel into this and then pop 2 cards on your field and go from there. So it just adds more consistency to the deck. Swift Scarecrow, your best turn is going to be set 5 and end, and then Swift Scarecrow is really going to help you. Another card that I just remembered, forgot about, Card D. Amazing card in this deck. You know, set 4, normal summon Card, draw 2 more cards, and then you can plus during your opponent's turn as well as you just drew 2 more cards. Card D, an amazing card in this deck. And I already talked a little bit about Call of the Haunted. For XYZs, obviously you can run any rank 5, but mainly Pleiades. Pleiades plus, you know, these 2 cards together on the field, it just is problems for your opponent. Pleiades just compulses everything back that anything you don't like, just compulse it. This card, if they activate an effect, you're going to plus off of it because you're going to force them to destroy your back row. And this card is amazing because it prevents them from being able to top deck Dark Hole and beat you that way. It's just these 2 cards together, really, really good. So these are the main cards you're going to be going for when you're going for rank 5s. But again, you can go for stuff like Volcasaurus, you know, destroy a card, then overlay for Gaia. That's, you know, standard rank 5 play. So you can play this deck just like a rank 5 turbo deck. Adrius, Tyrus, all that stuff, you know, rank 5s galore. Another card that I was thinking about maybe testing out is a Quick Booster. This is an interesting card because it maybe like side decking it, because again, as I said, once the people know what you're playing, they'll just end phase space you, and this is a card that you know you can set as a bluff. And it has an effect of when it's destroyed by your opponent's card and sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 quick play spell from your deck to your hand. So you can add this to your hand, you can add a Space Typhoon to your hand, you obviously can't add itself. But I just thought of that as an interesting idea, you know, maybe game 2, just to, you know, set that as a bluff, have your opponent destroy it, thinking that they're going to be hitting a artifact, and instead you get the plus off of that. Instead, just another card to keep them honest. This alongside these 2 prevents them from just randomly spacing your back row, because, you know, they're not going to know what they're going to get. So these are just a couple of cards along with the artifacts that can work well with the artifact archetype, and I'll have a brief deck that I've been playing with so far, and I'll tell you how it's been going. So I'll see you guys in a second as I pull up that deck. So stay tuned. Okay, guys, so we're back with the deck profile. This is Artifacts version 1. This is my first go at the deck, and it's been working out really well. I'm gonna try and make another version where it's just, you know, Durundle Turbo with the Solar Windjammers and the Instant Fusions. But at first, we'll look at this deck profile so far. So we've got 2 Christia, triple of the Labris, triple of the Blue Sword, triple Orange Thingy, triple Red Sword, 2 of the Aegis, 1 Honest, triple Card D, triple Swift Scarecrow, then you've got Dark Hole, triple Space Typhoon, 1 Book of Moon, triple Artifact Movement, 1 Bottomless, triple Theosophy, however you pronounce that, of the artifacts, 1 Compulse, 1 Warning, Stable Traps, and then triple Call of the Haunted. Comes out to exactly 40, and I love this deck build so far. It's been working out really well. I only lost 1 time to a Blue Eyes player, and I just drew terribly. I had a bunch of replays of some really good duels, but the problem is that this card on Devpro, the Red Sword Artifact Bedge, bunch of other letters afterwards, it's glitched. So whenever it comes out on the replay immediately ends. It says error occurs. So this card is glitched when you got for replays. It's also glitched within on Devpro because its effect clearly says you can destroy up to 2 set cards you control. But unfortunately, on Devpro, you actually have to destroy at least 1. It forces you to destroy at least 1. I actually lost another game, I forgot, so I lost 2 with this deck. And the reason why I lost that game was because I was in a situation where I went for this card. I had a set Solemn Warning, and he was playing Lightsworn, like Chaos Lightsworn Dragon. He had a Judgment Dragon in his hand. I knew that he had it, so I had a warning. I was like, as soon as he goes for Judgment Dragon, I'm going to warning it, and that was the only card in his hand. So I was going to go for Pleiades because I knew he had Elemental Dragons in his graveyard. So I went for Pleiades with this card. My plan was to make Pleiades using this card, and then I think it was this one. So I went for this card, and then it was like, select which one you destroy. Normally you right click when you don't want to destroy something, like when you have Geyseris, or like when you're discarding cards, or like with Heliopolis, when you only want to discard like 1 card, you click 1, then you right click, so so you don't have to keep clicking cards. So you can't do that with this card. So it's glitched in the sense that it forces you to destroy a card. So I was forced to destroy my Solemn Warning, which meant that I couldn't go from the play, and he went for Judgment Dragon and just blew up my shit because I couldn't stop him. I went for Durandal, so he just went for Blaster, then attacked over me. So long story short, this card is glitched. And so if you want to play artifacts and test them out for yourself on Devpro, keep in mind that this card is glitched, so you're going to have to destroy your card. So don't go for this card if you have cards that you don't want to destroy. So as far as what works and what doesn't work, I was playing, I started off with this deck playing triple Valhalla, and I just found that it just wasn't working. It doesn't work as well as you think it would. Really, the only time I used it was if, first turn Valhalla for Christia. And that's obviously very rare because you only have 2 Christia with 3 Valhalla, so the chances of drawing them together is very slim. So yeah, you think, because you have all fairies that Valhalla would work, but it really didn't. Another card I could try is Shining Angel, just because this card right here, the Aegis card, I haven't really been using its effect that much. Because you're getting effects during your opponent's turn, especially if you're going first, and it's their first turn. So you went first, you said a bunch of stuff, it's their first turn. You don't really have to worry about spell or trap effects or anything like that. So this card hasn't really been coming in handy too much, because normally I would just wait for main phase 2 or the end phase, then go for my plays. So this card really wasn't working out, so I might change these for 2 Shining Angels just to see how it works. But Christia, definitely late game, really, really good, especially if you've already established a field like with the Durandal and Pleiades, then drop a Christia, which I have gotten that to happen before. It's just over. This card really good because it has the Mikazuchi effect, so you don't have to set this card if you don't want to. You can use it as a backup. So just like say that this also protects you from the end phase spacing. So if you set this and set this, your opponent end phase spaces one, you can activate this card's effect, special summon itself, so that you have some field presence. This card again really good, just pops face ups, 2100 attack. So that's decent. Obviously level 5, so you can go for your rank 5 plays. This card again good because you can draw cards. This card you can pop your own back row. This card not so great. It's okay. It has a good effect, but it's only during your opponent's turn or during the turn that it's summoned. So it's really it's not that good. Honest is obviously honest. Card D, very, very good in this deck. And Swift Scarecrow, because you're going to be setting cards, for the most part, you're just setting cards is your whole plan. Your field's going to be blank, so Swift Scarecrow prevents you from getting OTK'd. Dark Hole's obvious. Space Typhoon, very good utility card. You can destroy your own cards, you can destroy your opponent's cards. Book of Moon, just a great spell. This card, really, really good as well. Everything works like you think it would. Bottomless, Compulse, Solemn Warning, and then Call of the Haunted is really, really good, especially after you've gone through multiple effects, because you get effects when you special summon during your opponent's turn. So Call of the Haunted is really, really good. As far as the extra deck, just rank 5s. Stuff that I really don't make. Basically, all I've made is this. I've gone for this. I've rarely gone for any of these other cards, but they're here just, for some, I guess, for options. But that's why I think the Instant Fusion version will work really well, because some of the stuff like Shark Fortress I haven't made that yet. Haven't made this yet. I haven't made Adris or Tyrus yet. Especially these 2 Zen Mayo. I thought that Zen Mayo would be really broken in this deck because you can target 2 set cards and destroy them, so you can target your own cards. The problem is that your artifacts don't get effects when they're destroyed during your turn, so you would be only going for your opponent's set cards, which you can clear back row with this. Since a lot of the times I've been using my back row destruction cards for my own back row, this can help you just get rid of some of your opponent's back row like that. But then again, this card can protect itself basically. And Pleiades, if they want to bottomless it, you can chain its effect and send back another card. So that's part of the reason why I really haven't gone for this much. So I can definitely take this out, especially this. Gaia Charge is really good with Volcasaurus. So overall, this deck is really, really good, especially since a lot of people aren't expecting it. I don't think a lot of people are playing it that much on Devpro. One thing though, that this deck gets wrecked by Evil Swarms. Completely destroyed by Evil Swarms. Absolutely wrecked by Evil Swarms. So once this archetype comes out, you may see a jump in Evil Swarms, because right now Evil Swarms aren't really that popular. People really aren't playing them much anymore. They were really, really popular for a while, and they're kind of just slowly falling off the planet, even though they're still a pretty decent deck. But yeah, if you go up against an Evil Swarm player, you just lost. Game 1, you lost. I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can't do anything. You know. So you definitely want to be on the lookout for that. Also, you lose to stuff like Light Imprisoning Mirror, stuff like that. But again, you do run triple Space Typhoon plus triple of this, so you don't really have to worry about that, honestly. So that's the Archetype artifacts. This is my first take at artifacts. It's gone really well for me, so you guys can try it out, see if you can see how you like it on Devpro. Tell me what you feel like you can what changes you've made if you've tested it out. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Once again, thank you to all my subscribers and to people who watch my videos in general. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, all of the good stuff, and I'm out of here. Deuces.